Hello and welcome to this workshop. It's mindfulness for stress reduction and emotional balance. I'd like to start by taking 3 inhales and exhales with me. So let's go. 1, in and out. 2, exhale. And 3, lovely. It's a really nice way to ground ourselves. So let's talk a little bit about who I am. My name is Louise Vallis, aka Aunty Lou, and I have a company called Aunty Lou's House. And Aunty Lou's House originated from a house that I owned in London. You see, I was divorced and had 3 children, and I'd bought this house for my 3 children because I had 2 boys and a girl, and they needed more space after the divorce. And it was a place where their friends used to come. And it was a space where I would feed them. It was a space where people felt safe. It was a space where people felt heard. There was a lot of laughter and there was no judgment. And I wanted to kind of recreate that space online, a home where people could come, a space where people could come and they feel heard and not judged and had that warm sense of belonging. So that's where the name came from. I also have a podcast where on YouTube where I speak to people about their truth. The majority of people I speak to are living with HIV from all over the world, and they talk about their journeys. I also deliver something called Street Talks, where I go on the streets and I test people's knowledge around HIV and stigma. I work with a number of different charities. I am a speaker, an empowerment speaker, and a coach, an intersectional coach. And I also teach vegan cooking and yoga online as part of an online course. Now, before I've been living with HIV for a number of years, over 18 years now, and before I found out I had HIV, I was a very, very confident young woman. I had various senior leadership roles. You can see in this picture here, the Prime Minister of the UK at that time was Tony Blair, and he found out about the work that I was doing and wanted to come and meet me. And we had a one-to-one meeting, and I showed him around and showed him the work that I had delivered. And this is just an example to kind of create a picture to show you where I had come from. I had won various awards and I also worked hard and played even harder. So, designer clothes, lots of them, new cars, exotic holidays. I liked dining at Michelin star restaurants and I was an avid theatre goer and I liked the opera and the arts. And I had 3 young children. Now, before HIV, I was fine, but when I found out I had HIV, I absolutely struggled because I felt that I had created a really good life, and I felt that the life I had created had given me a level of freedom, and I felt that HIV had taken my freedom away. So, as a consequence, or as you can imagine, I was very stressed. I was depressed. I was anxious. I was extremely lonely and isolated. And I was so worried about what people would say about me. I mean, I didn't tell people. I didn't tell my friends, and I certainly couldn't tell my young children. So I just held on to that anxious way of being and that stress. And I didn't have a great love life. I was anxious all the time about HIV. And even if I didn't have HIV, I'd still be anxious about dating because before I found out I had HIV, I was anxious about dating. And when I found out I had HIV, it just compounded. So, what did I do? I drank a lot of alcohol and I smoked very, very heavily. And I felt, to be honest, that I'd lost part of myself to HIV. And I just really wanted to find a better way to live. So I found out about mindfulness. And when I found out about mindful living, everything changed in my life. Honestly, I'm living proof. So I trained as a yoga teacher and I studied a lot around vegan nutrition, meditation, yoga, and I studied the chakra energy system and I trained as a yoga practitioner and the list goes on. But I changed my lifestyle. I changed my career from the office to something that I felt was more meaningful because I wanted to explore something different. And I also eventually stopped drinking and drinking a lot of alcohol. I would say that I was maybe a borderline alcoholic because I was drinking quite heavily. And I also stopped the smoking. So I became vegan and I inspired other people to do so. And I opened up a space for a podcast called Aunty Lou's Hour on YouTube, where I speak to people about their truths. And I found the power of dating mindfully. So, I mean, this workshop is about mindfulness. And I found how mindfulness could be used during the dating process. Now, as an older person, I mean, I met my partner at the time, the one who I'm talking about, when I was around 49 years old. So dating around that age was challenging for me. And I eventually met someone who I really liked. Like, I really liked him. But I was worried, as usual, anxious about blended families. I had three children. Um, my, how are my children going to react towards him? Because up until him, this guy that I really liked, the other people I dated, I wasn't really that serious about. But what I decided to do is date mindfully. So what I'd done was stayed really present. So I tried not to worry. What are my kids going to say? He's white, I'm black. How is that going to work? How is the age difference going to work? How is everything going to work? And what I was doing was worrying, was getting anxious. And what I was doing was thinking about past relationships and ones that didn't work. And I was bringing that into the present. But I decided to use my mindful techniques to stay present and not worry and just enjoy what was happening to me at that particular time by taking each step at a time. So this guy I ended up getting married to. There he is. And he is not living with HIV, but we eventually fell in love. Do you know why? From my side, I allowed myself to fall in love. I allowed myself to stay present. I allowed myself not to keep worrying about what the future can hold and not to keep worrying about my past situations, ships, and just stay present with what was happening with this man, and it led to marriage. So This workshop, we're going to cover a number of things. We're going to talk about the principles of mindfulness. We'll go over some techniques and practices. I'll talk to you about some resources that are available. And if you have any questions, you can put it in the comment below as we go through. So, you may or may not have heard this saying that yesterday is history, tomorrow is a mystery, and today is a gift. And that is why it's called the present. I love that. Now, here's the principles of mindfulness, and you've probably heard me say it already quite a few times. Stay in the present moment. That is the key principle. That is the principle. Stay in the present moment. Another really key principle is awareness. It's about noticing what's happening, and also acceptance. Accept how you are in this present moment. And when you accept, you don't judge so much. You don't critique so much. You just let it be what it should be. And the third principle is about your mind and your body connection, and how mindfulness is not just about clearing your mind, it's also about how you can use your body mindfully as well. So, on that note, I would like you to either close your eyes, or if you prefer not to close your eyes, you can follow this pink dot as it goes around. And what I'd like you to do is, first of all, notice what's around you. You may hear a noise. There may be someone scuffling in the background. Maybe you've got an itch. But just take a second to notice. Notice how you're feeling. Do you feel impatient right now? Hurry up, get on with the rest of the workshop. Do you feel quite still? Do you feel hot or cold? Just notice. That's all. There is no need to create a story. Just noticing. And when you're noticing, just be okay. That's where the acceptance comes in. Just accept what you notice right now. And then I want you to start to focus on breathing in and out. So take inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Keep going at your own speed. You can do it quickly or slowly. Just inhale and exhale. And when you're ready, either gently open your eyes and notice how you feel. Let's talk a little bit about mindfulness across the globe. Now, in the United Kingdom, the National Health Trust, the NHS, say that studies show that mindfulness can help with stress, anxiety, and depression. In the US, the National Library of Medicine say that mindfulness is effective for reducing anxiety and depression. In Nigeria, there was a study done with healthcare students who were experiencing really high levels of stress. And the study showed that their stress levels were reduced when they adopted a mindfulness lifestyle. In Germany, the central portal say that mindfulness allows us to face situations with openness, even if feelings such as fear and anger are associated with it. Thus, this contributes to stress reduction. Now, let's talk about how we can relieve stress and anxiety. We relieve it by, first of all, having an awareness that it's there. I'm not sure about you, but there have been many times in my life when I'm just what I call unconscious. I'm not aware. I don't know what's going on. I'm just like operating robotically. I don't even realize I'm stressed. I don't realize I'm anxious. I'm just all over the place. But you can start to relieve when you are aware. It's so important to accept where you are at any given time and to be gentle with yourself when it comes to judgment. Because sometimes you may hear this saying that we are our own worst enemies, that we can judge ourselves. We're not enough. We're not good enough. We don't meditate enough. We don't do these, we don't, work hard enough, But that's all about judgment. And it's important not to judge ourselves. And again, body, mind, and the connection between our body and our mind. The connection between our body and our mind is something to be conscious of, because sometimes how we're feeling can get trapped in our body. And for example, I used to really tense my shoulders up when I'm stressed and anxious, and now I kind of lower them down, and that's becoming aware of what's happening in my body as well as what's happening in my mind. So let's do a body scan. Again, I'm inviting you to gently close your eyes and start by taking an inhale and an exhale. If you're sitting down, place your feet on the ground and feel the connection of your feet on the floor. If you're laying down, feel the connection of your heels on the floor, on the bed. But just notice your feet and relax them. Notice your calf muscles and gently allow them to release and fall away. Your kneecaps feel light and soft. Notice your thighs as they fall down. Let gravity hold your thighs as they start to relax. Your lower back is soft and relaxed. Your belly is gentle and calm and soft. Your upper back and your shoulders. If you notice they're tense, let them go. Let them fall away. Let the chair hold you, or let your bed hold you, or wherever you are, hold you. Your arms feel loose and soft and relaxed as they fall down the back of your neck. Notice the back of your neck, the back of your skull, the top of your head is relaxed. Your chin, your jaw is soft and relaxed. Your eyes and your cheeks. Take a few breaths in and out. And feel your whole body relax as you breathe in and out. One more time. Breathe in and out. When you're ready, gently open your eyes. Look around you. Look side to side or behind you. Look up. Look down. Let's talk a little bit about mindful walking. It's another amazing practice. Now, we talk about using mindfulness to relieve, stress. It's a practice. You have to practice doing it. You don't just read about it or listen to a webinar. You have to practice. And I find walking is a really, really easy way to practice mindfulness. So when you're walking, just look at what's around you. When I used to walk, and I still do it sometimes, and like I say, it's a practice, I've got my phone, and then maybe I've got a coffee in the other hand, and then maybe I'm looking to see what's in the shops, or maybe I'm talking to someone at the same time. I'm doing 3 and 4 things as I'm walking. But I invite you to walk with no phone and just looking around you. Look at the tree, look at the floor, look at whatever's around you. And try just to focus on what's around you, or focus on each step that you take. Feel as your heel goes to the ground and your toes go to the ground. Just focus on your feet walking. It's a really good way to practice. Mindful listening is another good practice. And I'm not sure about you, but sometimes when someone's talking, I just want to jump in and say something. Or maybe they're talking, I'm on the phone. Or maybe I'm just not interested. But there might be times when you have an opportunity to practice listening, because it's a practice. Listen to what that person's saying and try not to be distracted by the clock or by wanting to go on your phone or by wanting to jump in and say something. It's a good way to practice mindfulness, which is staying in the present moment. And I'm going to keep repeating, staying in the present moment. So when someone's talking, be in that moment with them, be in that space with them and listen. Cooking is another great way of practicing. So when you're whisking, focus on whisking. If you're kneading the bread, focus on kneading that bread. I sometimes watch Netflix and I'm cooking and I'm doing something else, or I'm thinking about work, or a million other things, rather than just chopping the vegetables up and staying present as I chop. And really good practice of being mindful. And there are many more. When you're in the shower, instead of thinking about what am I going to wear, what am I going to do, what time is the bus coming, what's going to happen at that meeting, what's going to happen when I meet that person, maybe just while you're in that shower, feel as the water comes down on your body, feel as the water goes on your hair, and stay present in that moment. When you're traveling, if you're traveling on a train or a plane, just look at what's around you. Empty your mind. Staying present is about not thinking about the past or the future, but just emptying your mind of that and just focus on what is in the here and the now. Another practice is when you're eating. I got myself into a habit of using my phone while I'm eating, or put something on, on Netflix or a YouTube video while I'm eating. But now I try to practice as much as possible to put my phone away and focus on each mouthful that I put in my mouth. Because you're appreciating what you're cooking or what you're eating, and you're also practicing staying present in the here and the now and not being distracted by anything else but eating. The last one I have here is this lady you can see on a laptop. And when I'm working, sometimes, I'm not sure about you, but I've got so many different things on my mind at once. I need to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I need to write the report, and then I need to make a phone call. Oh, I need to answer that email. Oh, I need to do some research. But a good way of staying mindful when you're working and you're trying to focus on one thing at a time is put an alarm clock on for 45 minutes. So work on that, on one piece of work for 45 minutes without being distracted, without thinking about all the other things you need to do. Just think about that one thing that you need to do. And when that 45 minutes is up, get up from the chair, take 5 to 10 minutes, walk around, make yourself a drink, do something different, clear your mind, and then go back and do another 45 minutes if you wish. And it's up to you. I mean, I use 45 minutes. Maybe you just want to use 30 minutes. But give yourself that time to focus, because it is actually a way of staying present. I'd like us to go inward for 3 minutes. Again, I invite you to gently close your eyes and ground yourself. This is just a 3-minute exercise. So take a few breaths and first of all notice what is there for you right now. Are you present? Is your mind filled with what you need to do later? How long is this video going to be? Should you pause it? Should you carry on? What's there for you right now? Are you enjoying it? Whatever is on your mind, I invite you to gently put it to one side, just for a short while. And I invite you to just focus as you breathe in and out. And as you breathe in, count 1 and breathe out. Breathe in, count 2 and breathe out. Breathe in, count 3 and breathe out. And I invite you to do this until you get up to 10. And if you notice any point you're getting distracted, go back to number 1 again and start again. Try to just focus on counting and clear your mind. And when you're ready, gently open your eyes, look to the side, right, to the left, maybe look up, look down, and we carry on. So here's a recap for you. When it comes to mindfulness, some people call it meditation. I like to say staying present, a mindful way of life. I really, really want you to understand this and remember this. There is no right or wrong way when you practice. Please be kind to yourself. You know, if you're trying to practice and it's really noisy, or things are not working, or your mind keeps drifting, be kind to yourself. Just bring yourself back again and then see if you can stay in the here and the now. And if you find it difficult, gently bring yourself back again. But please be kind to yourself. Awareness. Aware there is so much going on in your life. And noticing how you feel and where you are is quite important. And when you do that, be kind to yourself. If you're noticing that you're stressed or you're annoyed or you're angry, and if you're noticing that you're not stressed, annoyed, or angry, try to stay as present and bring yourself to a sense of calm, a sense of balance. Living. We spoke about mindful living. We spoke about different ways. When you're in the shower, see if you can have your shower and just focus on showering. If you're eating, do you think you could put your phone away and eat without having something to look at? There are different techniques. We spoke about walking without being on the phone or being distracted. And lastly, we also spoke about when you're feeling stressed, follow your breath. Breathe in and breathe out. Maybe try counting to 10. Breathe in number 1 and out. Breathe in number 2 and out. Count to 10, and if you find you get distracted, go back to 1. But what that does, what all of this does, is keep you present. It keeps you not thinking about the past, not being anxious or thinking so much about what's to come, but staying in the here and the now. Now, I do have some resources. I have a QR code here from my website, and on my website, you'll find links to different mindful practices that's on my YouTube channel. You can also contact me, contact at auntylou's.com. Send me an email and I'll respond to you if you have any questions about what you've learned here today. And finally, I want to thank you for staying until the end, and I would really appreciate your feedback. So, if there's any feedback that you'd like to give me, you can either use this QR code to fill out a really short form. I think I've only got 3 questions, or again, feel free to contact me. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope you have a wonderful day or evening. Thank you.